Hello children, today we are going to learn Unit 11 of Grade 6 Climatic Changes. This is the second lesson of the previous. We have learned the first part of it. In the first part of this lesson, we have gone through the factors which determine the weather. The four factors which determine the weather are rainfall, temperature, speed and direction of the wind as well as humidity. In the previous lesson, we were looking at various apparatus that we can design in order to measure these factors which determine the weather. We have learned about laboratory thermometer, which can be used to measure the temperature. The measurements are given in degrees Celsius. We have learned about standard rain gauge, which is used to measure the rainfall, and the measurements are given in millimeters. We have also looked at wind vane to determine the direction of wind, from which direction the wind would blow. And we have also looked at anemometer in order to determine the speed of the wind. And anemometer gives the measurements in number of rotations or number of turns per minute. We have already looked at how to design this in the previous lesson. Today we will be looking at in order to determine the fourth factor, that is humidity. Humidity to determine the fourth factor of the weather. Humidity of atmosphere. First we will learn what is humidity. Humidity means the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. How much of water vapor is present in the atmosphere is given by humidity. Whether the atmosphere is dry or humid, wet is given by humidity, and it differs from place to place. Humidity at Colombo, Hambantota and Nuwara Eliya are different. They are different from place to place. As well as if you consider a single place, it differs every day. Each day the humidity would differ. Today's humidity would be different from yesterday's. As well as on a single day, during a single day, from time to time the humidity would differ. In the morning, afternoon as well as evening, children, the humidity would change. So now we learned humidity is the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere, right? It changes from day to day, from place to place as well as from at different times of the day. Let's see what is the equipment used to measure the humidity of atmosphere. We can measure the humidity of atmosphere using a standard hygrometer. It has an indicator which can rotate around a point, and the values are given as a percentage. Let's look at a standard hygrometer. I have a standard hygrometer here with me. It gives the value of the humidity as a percentage. So it ranges from 0 to 100. It has an indicator which can rotate. That is the standard hygrometer. And we have digital hygrometers in the laboratories. This is the modern hygrometer that we come across in the laboratory, where there is no indicator. The values are given numerically as a digital value. Both hygrometers are used in the laboratory to give a numeric measurement on the humidity of the atmosphere. Let's see how to design a simple hygrometer for our own. We need a long strand of hair, about 50 centimeter length. This strand of hair should be washed with shampoo, clean without dirt and oil. And we need a wooden plank as well as a thin wooden strip which is of 60 centimeters length, a nail which is 1 inch long, a long eagle, a pin as well as a scale is needed. So I am going to show a simple hygrometer that we can design. So this is our simple hygrometer that I have used a wooden plank as the base. A thin wooden strip is fixed to the wooden plank and a nail is fitted over here like 1-inch nail, and you can see an eagle is fixed with the help of a pin over here. Eagle is fixed and the nail and eagle are connected with this hair, right, and it is kept horizontally. The eagle is kept horizontally. The indicator shows in the middle value, and the indicator, the scale has dry and humid. The two values, dry on top as well as humid. What happens here is, children, whenever the atmosphere is humid, the strand of hair, the length of the strand of hair increases. This become lengthy. So when this become lengthy, from the pin, this eagle would rotate and it would move down and it would show that humidity is high. In a dry weather condition, what would happen? Yes, children, the hair, the length of the hair would reduce and it becomes shortened. When it becomes shortened, yes, children, this eagle would move up. It would move up and indicate that the environment is dry. So you also, when you are during leisure time, you can use your leisure time to make your simple hygrometer. It is very simple to make this. You just have you need a wooden plank and a thin wooden strip, and these things you can supply easily. I have explained, children, when the humidity is high, the indicator or the eagle would move down along the scale, and when the humidity is low, yes, in dry conditions, the eagle would move up because the length of the strand of hair changes in humid conditions as well as in dry condition. Depending on this, the length of the strand of hair, the indicator moves up and down, children. So this is the fourth factor related to weather. Now we have already looked at designing apparatus to determine all the 4 factors related to weather: temperature, rainfall, speed and direction of wind, as well as humidity. Right, we have looked at apparatus as well. Let's move on to the next section of our lesson. Natural disasters occurred due to climatic changes. Natural disasters. What is a natural disaster? What are natural disasters? From the term itself, it says it's natural. That means from the nature itself it occurs. Natural disasters are naturally occurring destructive incidents. It's very destructive. It can destroy human lives, properties, the environment as well as the economy. And there is no mediation of man. Man do not interfere in these natural disasters. Although man do not interfere, the human activities aggravate the condition. It increases the condition of natural disasters. And let's look at reasons for natural disasters. What are the reasons for natural disasters, children? Yes, changes in weather and climate. The changes in weather and climate occur naturally, which can give rise to these disasters, as well as various changes in the interior of the earth. Deep inside the earth, you know there's liquid rock, right? The changes have occurring in the earth can lead to natural disasters, as well as the changes in the biosphere. The living organisms can lead to natural disasters. So this is for your reference, children. You can refer this for extra knowledge. We will be looking at 4 commonly occurring natural disasters in this lesson: cyclones, flood, drought, as well as landslides. These are the 4 mostly occurring natural disasters in Sri Lanka, children. Right? Although there are many other natural disasters like volcanic eruptions, that we are lucky enough that we don't have volcanic eruptions in Sri Lanka. Even glacier erosion in Arctic and Antarctic pole, glacier erosion can be seen. It's also not, we are not facing such incidents. earthquakes are there in addition to these, even thunderstorms are there. So, tsunami can be said in addition to these. But in this lesson, we will be looking at only these 4 natural disasters. First, we will look at cyclones. What are cyclones? What is a cyclone? Yes, we know that wind is an important factor which determines the weather. But wind can cause disasters. Although it is important as a factor determining weather, it can cause disasters. Let's see how much of disasters it could cause. These are some photographs taken, the disasters occurring due to a cyclone. So, you can see how much of destruction occurring in properties, as well as it might cause destruction in human lives as well. Let's see how a cyclone would occur, children. Do you know how a cyclone would occur? What would happen first? Yes, the atmosphere, the pressure decreases, children. In an area, naturally this might happen due to various climatic changes, weather changes. The pressure of the atmosphere can decrease. In an area, if the pressure decreases from the surrounding area, we call it as a pressure depression. Depression, pressure depression. Drop in the pressure is called pressure depression. That area has a low pressure. Into this particular area, from the surrounding areas, the air around that place is blown at a very high speed. Now, there is a pressure depression. Into this pressure area with pressure depression, there will be wind blowing with very high speed, which causes a cyclone. So, how a cyclone would occur, children? It can be described in 3 steps. The first step is decrease in pressure, and if it is extreme decrease in pressure, it would lead to a pressure depression, very low or drop in the pressure. Then into that area, the air would blow, causing a cyclone. Since the wind speed is very high, the wind blow into that area and wind start to rotate in that area, and it causes a cyclone. Let's look at a video on occurrence of cyclones. This cyclone is called a tornado, a type of cyclone. Although in Sri Lanka that we get tropical cyclone, a type of cyclone called tropical cyclone, this is a tornado which the impact is less in this cyclone. Can see how the air would whirl around a certain point. Air would rotate, moving things up and causing destruction. Most of the cyclones which affect Sri Lanka are tropical cyclones, children. These cyclones mostly occur in the oceanic region. They start in the oceanic region, later they migrate towards the earth. Whenever they start in the oceanic region, there are certain conditions which should be fulfilled. The surface of the ocean should be warmer. There should be a particular temperature in the ocean surface to cause a cyclone. And once it is originated in the oceanic region, later it would migrate into land. As far as it is in the oceanic region, there is no harm, children. But whenever it migrates to the land, it makes the destruction of properties, plants, and even it might destroy human lives. Right. So, you can see how it would occur, how the air would rotate, how fierce it is. The wind would blow from the surrounding places, destroying buildings, moving things up, and even the lightning might occur with rain, with heavy storm, and even waves, sea waves would approach the earth faster than the normal instances. So, in this video, we are looking at how a cyclone would occur. Let's see where most of the cyclones occurring. Most of the cyclones which affect Sri Lanka originate in the Bay of Bengal. Do you know where the Bay of Bengal is, children? It's around this region. This oceanic region is called Bay of Bengal. So, most of the cyclones occur in this region and later they migrate towards our country. And whenever they reach our country, it causes most of the destruction. Let's see what are the effects of cyclones. Yes, children. Yes, rain with storms as we saw in the video. Heavy showers can be expected with storms. Wherever the area, it might extend up to 100 or 200 kilometers. Right? Heavy showers can be experienced in such regions. Even huge sea waves. Due to the fast winds, strong winds, sea waves rise up and approach the land. And also, we can experience thunderbolts due to the cyclones. So, these are the effects of cyclones. Due to cyclones, we will experience these effects, rain with storms, huge sea waves as well as thunderbolts. Let's see what the cyclones would end up in. As we already saw, it would lose, the lives will be lost. Very valuable thing, human lives would be lost, loss of lives. And also, a lot of properties are destroyed. You can see buildings, trees are destroyed, vehicles are destroyed, right? So, as an effect of cyclone, the lives are lost as well as properties are destroyed. So, it is very dangerous to have a cyclone. The early warnings of cyclone, if someone would tell that a cyclone would occur, we can avoid that, isn't it, children? We can be safe, we can be at a safer place, right? So, early warnings are given by meteorological department, right? Normally, they give warnings, children, 48 hours prior to a cyclone. So, meteorological department, they watch on the surrounding atmospheric conditions in the around Sri Lanka and they give warnings on the weather and climate. If there are cyclones, threat of cyclones, they would inform it 48 hours prior to it so that we can be safe. And the details, if you want more details on this, you can obtain it in this website, children, www.meteo.gov.lk. Even their telephone line, through the telephone line you can get the details. Now, 112-686-686 gives the early warnings. If you want to get any details regarding a cyclone or the weather condition, you can contact them. Let's see how to minimize the damages. How to minimize the damages of a cyclone, children. Yes, what we can do, if we are living in an area, we have to, with strong winds, in an area with strong winds, we can be vigilant about seasons and strong winds. And also, we have to be alert about the weather forecasting. We have to be alert. We have to always keep a watch on what weather forecasting says. Then we can minimize the damages due to cyclones. Let's look at another natural disaster which affects Sri Lanka, which is flood. This is very common in Sri Lanka, children. Flood can be given when rain is an important factor. We know that rain is an important factor which determines the weather. But it is when it is extreme or heavy rain, it can cause disasters, children. If it is heavy rain, it can cause disasters. So, whenever it's heavy rain, it causes a flood. So, what causes a flood? Due to heavy rains, what would happen? The rivers, the streams, reservoirs are filled with huge amount of water. Whenever there is heavy rain, all the water would flow into these streams, rivers and reservoirs. So, these get filled within a very short time period. So, the water, incoming water would be more than the capacity of water that they can hold, and therefore, these rivers, streams, reservoirs, they overflow, because within a short time there will be lot of water flowing into these children. And as a result of this, the overflow, a large area of land is temporarily covered with water. Whenever the water in the river streams overflow, it would flow out of the river, out of the boundaries of the river, and cover a large area surrounding the river. This is called as flood children. You might have experienced flood, or you have seen about flood in TV. So, it is a disaster. Let's look at a video on occurrence of flood, how a flood would occur. A heavy rain can cause flood. You can see, due to heavy rainfall, all the land areas are inundated with water, and people, all the houses, drainages, everything overflow. These floods are more common in town areas due to blocking of drains. This is a rural area. You can see all the areas are inundated with water, and the roads are not visible. Let's look at main reasons for flood. What are the main reasons for flood, children? One is reclamation of lands. We change the land according to human requirement of human, we change the land. We make various constructions, right? Not the natural way, we artificially change the land. It's called reclamation of land. It might cause flood. And also improper construction activities. Due to many construction activities with the development, most of the natural draining areas are covered. So, if there is no natural place for drainage, children, what would happen? That areas would be inundated, and even with a small rainfall, you can observe a flood like this. And also another reason for the flood is sand mining. Mining of sand from the rivers. For construction activities, people take sand from the bottom of the rivers, children. Even that would make flood to occur even during a small rain. What we can do in order to mitigate flood, children? Mitigate means reduce the impact of flood. We can't stop the flood, but what we can do in order to minimize the damage? Yes, proper planning before urban constructions. In the town areas, whenever we are making new construction, it should be planned before. And clearing unauthorized construction. Unauthorized construction, as I mentioned earlier, would prevent the water flow. Water drainage, natural drainage is prevented, and it should be cleared. And also avoid adding solid wastes into drains. Most of the town areas, children, what would happen is the drains are covered and it would overflow like this because it's covered with the solid waste. So, people add solid waste into the drains, and the floods in the town areas are due to this overflow of drains. And also this picture shows a cross section of a river. What would happen due to human activities on either side of the river? When forests are cleared, what would happen is during a rain, the soil would be washed away. The soil would be washed away from both sides of the river and would be collected at the bottom. All the soil and mud would be collected at the bottom of the river. Therefore, the capacity of water in the river that it can hold would be reduced. So, when the capacity that it can hold is less, even from a small rain, it might overflow and both areas will be covered because the amount of water that it can hold now is less. So, this is also one main reason to flood. So, you can refer these children, this is for your extra knowledge. Let us look at the third natural disaster, that is drought. Can see how the land would be. Drought is called a natural disaster and it is a silent disaster. Why it is called a silent disaster, children? Until conditions are very serious, nobody would notice it. It will start due to changes in weather and it would aggravate the condition and finally end up in very severe impact on the environment. So, what is drought? Drought is defined as whenever an area gets less than 75% of the expected rainfall, we call it as a drought. So, drought is defined in different ways in different places, children, right. We define drought as if a certain area gets less than 75% of expected rainfall. There is in different areas there is an expected rainfall. There is a normal rainfall that we would expect during different months. Whenever this rainfall changes, children, yes, we call it as a, if it is changed and if it is less than 75% of the expected, we call it as a drought. And as a result, there will be dry weather condition in that area, children. So, that area would have very dry environmental condition and we call this dry period that occur due to the lack of rain. Whenever there is no rain, the dry period which occur is called as drought. You can see the impacts of drought. First, it would start with excessive evaporation. Water evaporate excessively from water bodies as well as plants, agricultural lands, and the groundwater level reduces day by day. Groundwater level reduces and thereafter there won't be enough sufficient water for the animals. Animals would die, children. Even there won't be sufficient water for the agricultural activities. You can see a farmer weeping for agricultural activities and for the consumption of human, there won't be sufficient water, children. This is given as an extra knowledge. In our country, we can identify 4 different climatic zones. What are the 4 different climatic zones in Sri Lanka, children? These zones are divided based on the rainfall. We can divide Sri Lanka into 4 different climatic zones. What are they? Wet zone, intermediate zone, dry zone as well as arid zone. Droughts are very common in these 2 arid zones. Towards Mannar and Hambantota, droughts are very common. So, in these areas, different expected rainfall values are given. As I said, from area to area, the expected rainfall values differ, right. So, in different areas, in 4 different zones, expected rainfall values are given. If the expected rainfall compared to the expected rainfall, if the actual rainfall is less than 75%, that is defined as drought. Droughts are common in the arid zone. As I mentioned, these 2 orange color region, light orange color regions, the droughts are very common in Sri Lanka. This is extra knowledge, children. You need not memorize this. Let us look at some other detail for your knowledge. Natural reasons for drought. What can be the natural reasons for drought, children? Change in pattern of rainfall. The rainfall pattern changes. In Sri Lanka, we get rainfall due to 2 basic monsoons and intermonsoonal rains are there. This pattern changes. If this pattern changes, even during the amount of rainfall changes. If the amount of rainfall changes also, we say that it is drought. It can be the reasons for drought. And what can be the human activities which aggravate the drought? As I said, natural disasters are due to the changes in nature. But human activities can aggravate the condition, increase the condition. So, what are the human activities which aggravate the condition? Deforestation, cutting down forests, wastage of water and overuse of water. We waste a lot of water. Even without a conscious thought, we waste. Even overuse, even for a small purpose, we waste lot of water. And also unplanned constructions can also lead to drought. Unplanned construction in certain areas, in Bandaravilla area, people suffer from during the dry season, they don't have water due to unplanned constructions there. So, environment should be properly studied about the environment before doing a construction. Irregular cultivation of crops, right? The cultivation of crops should be done in a regular pattern in different areas. In slopes, there is a method that you have to cultivate. If that conditions are not followed, it might end up in a drought. So, even this you can refer for your knowledge, children. What are the effects of drought? What can be the effects of drought? Yes, reduction in groundwater. Deep under the earth, there is water, children. This water is called as groundwater, right? So, due to drought, this groundwater level decreases and decreases. Finally, it will end up in drying of rivers and streams. All the rivers and streams would dry up and it would affect human lives. People whose main livelihood is agriculture, they won't be able to continue their source of living. As well as children, it is going to affect the amount of water available for human consumption. People will suffer from without water, difficulty in finding drinking water, and even the animals would die. And also it will destroy the crops. All the crops would be destroyed and finally it would end up in a food crisis whenever there is not enough food due to the drought. So, this is also you can refer for your extra knowledge. Let us see what we can do to minimize the effects of drought, children. As small children, we can do a lot. What can we do? Yes, children, minimize the wastage of water. Every day whenever you are having a bath, whenever you are having a body wash, you can reduce the amount of water. You have to have the wash, but not to waste the water. Minimize the wastage of water. Avoid water pollution. Water bodies should not be polluted, right? We should not add any pollutants into water. In most of the areas, the drains are open into water bodies, into the rivers, streams or into the ocean. We should avoid the water pollution. As well as we have to avoid deforestation. Cutting down forests should be avoided, right? So, whenever there is more forests cut down, it might lead to drought condition, children. And also, if possible, this is a way that we can do reforestation. We can plant a small plant in our home garden, but that does not mean that it is reforestation. In large cleared areas, the forest can be grown with suitable plants. Reforestation, forest can be grown again. Rainwater harvesting during the rainy season, that is done in most of the dry areas of a country. Rainwater harvesting. So, in this method, they collect all the rainwater from their roofs and they store it in a tank. So, this tank contains enough sufficient water required for the dry season, children. So, this is pure water, rainwater is pure. Although they can't drink it, they can use for cleaning and other purposes. Rainwater harvesting, collecting rainwater can be done during the rainy season. Agricultural activities to conserve water. Most of the time, agricultural activities waste water. So, we have to add water to the crops. Whenever we are planting the crops, we have to add water. But if you have a method of drip irrigation, only adding water to the place where plants are, that is sufficient. No need to cover the whole area with water, right? So, the water minimizing the wastage can be done and we have to do the agricultural activities in order to conserve water. Ancient kings, they knew about the requirement of water and they constructed tanks in order to store water. Water stored in these tanks can be used during the drought season. It can be used during the drought season. So, these are the things, although you need not memorize, you can take some steps in order to prevent drought children. That is why I mentioned this. These are not required in your syllabus, but still as small children you can implement this in your day-to-day life and you can contribute in order to avoid drought. What we can do? We can do small things. So, if everyone start to do small things, that would create a big impact. Let us look at the next natural disaster, that is landslides. Landslides. What is a landslide? Landslide is a natural disaster related with rain, a factor which determines the weather. But it becomes a natural disaster if the rain is excessive, having continuous rain for 3 days. Either continuous rain for 3 days or over 200 millimeter. One of these conditions, if one of these conditions are met, there might be a landslide. Not in all areas children, only in certain areas which are landslide prone. Okay children, let us look at a video on the occurrence of landslide. How a landslide would occur. You can see in the video, the whole mountainous area gets separated from the other area and drops down. It moves down, separated. So, you can see all this region. It is going to cover the houses, right, all the mountain, soil, rock, and with all the construction, plants would move down whenever landslide occur. Can observe this. It's very, it happens slowly whenever there is excessive rainfall. And you can see the final impact of the landslide. The whole area is covered with soil and the mud which is drained off from the higher mountainous region. This is a landslide which occurred in Sri Lanka children. It was a disastrous event which happened in 2016 in Aranayaka. You can see how much of destruction. It killed more like 200 people. All 200 people are buried under the earth due to the landslide. You can see all the properties are destroyed, even the houses are destroyed. Even during a landslide, a rescue operation is implemented. It can't save the lives because whenever they take the human up, they are already buried under the soil and they are dead. So, it is a very disastrous event. Main reason is rain. Continuous rain for 3 days, over 200 millimeters rainfall can cause a landslide. Let us see what a landslide is. Sliding down a large amount of soil, as you saw in the video, large amount of soil would slide down, stones in that area, huge boulders and rocks in a higher area with all the trees, all the creepers and everything on it. Ultimately all the buildings, everything, all the human to a lower area, it slides down. It is called as landslide, right. Main reason for landslide is children, the gravity of the earth. Due to the gravity only the landslides occur. That is the main reason. Let us see where landslides occur. Landslides mostly occur in hilly areas children, where human use the land. In the areas where human have used the land, landslides are very common. Why? Due to the human construction, they clear the forest, they clear the area, and even with a small rain, landslides would occur. and it's a natural process. We can't avoid it, but still we can minimize the impact because human activities aggravate the condition. Landslide can occur due to human activities. Let's see what are the human activities which causes landslide, children. Cultivation on slope areas. People clear the slope areas and they start various cultivations. This can cause landslides. And cutting trees. Normally if a tree is there, the roots of the tree hold all the soil and prevent landslides. But clearing of forests and cutting trees can make even from a small rain, all the soil can get removed and moved down. Clearing of forests, especially in the slope areas, if forests are cleared, that area will be landslide prone, right? And it can be a disaster. How a landslide can be a disaster, children? When it occur in a populated area. If it is in an area without human activities, that's the natural activity which does not destroy any lives or properties. But if it happens in a populated area where people live, it can be a disaster. This is what happens, children, in a simple diagram. The soil from this area around the slope would remove from this area and move down, destroying all the constructions. Whenever it moved down, all the soil together with the stones, plants would move down and cover the area which is down over there. This is for your extra knowledge. Let's see what are the landslide prone districts, children. What are the landslide prone districts in Sri Lanka? Badulla, Nuwara, Kegalle, Ratnapura are considered as landslide prone district. In these districts, there is a higher tendency of landslide and people are given alerts. There can be a landslide in your area by an institution. That institution is named as National Building Research Organization, NBRO. National Building Research Organization. They collect all the data about areas where landslide occur and give prior warnings to people. It also gives instructions to prevent the landslide and reconstruct lands that have already faced landslide. They make modifications in the areas in order to prevent future landslides if they have already occurred, children. So, you can visit their website and get more details on the landslides, what is their task, how they help people living in landslide prone areas, district from this website. Let's see what are the signs before landslide, children. You can see depressions on earth like this and also new cracks on the surface of the slope occur as this. So, these are the signs before a landslide. These just for your reference I am showing you. Rocks moving down along slopes, if the rocks are moving, there can be that is a prediction to say that there is a landslide occurring. Even appearing cracks on buildings shows that there might be a landslide. Sudden surface runoff, without earlier there was no runoff, but suddenly whenever water drains along the surface, that might be a prior sign to a landslide. Even appearing new water springs is a prior sign. What we can do to minimize the damage due to landslide? We can't prevent landslide, children, but we can take action to minimize the damage due to landslide. Evacuating people when there is a risk. Whenever there is a risk of a landslide, we can make the people to move away from that place so that the loss of life can be prevented. Bringing down water using pipelines. Whenever water is collected in higher areas and if it drains down only, the landslide occur. This water can be brought down using pipelines. And also careful management of slope areas. We said landslide are prone in slope areas. So, these slope areas should be carefully managed by the authorities. People should not be allowed to make unauthorized construction, especially in the slope areas, children, right. So, we will be, there is a question, can we stop natural disasters? What do you think, children? Yes, can we stop natural disasters? No, we can't. Why? They occur by the nature. We can't stop natural disasters. They occur due to the nature. But we can minimize harmful impacts on the environment. We can minimize the impact on the environment from a natural disaster if we are vigilant. Right? So, what we should do? We should listen to weather announcements and follow the instructions. We have to follow the instruction given by media. So, if there is a danger or a threat of a landslide, flood or any other natural disaster, we can get a prior notice and we can save our lives. And in these things, children, natural disasters, lives are more important than properties. So, whenever there is a risk of a landslide, regardless of thinking about the properties, first the people should evacuate that place. And minimizing the effects of these disasters can protect property and lives. So, we can work out to minimize the effect of these disasters. Let's see what we have learned today. Yes, children, we first at the beginning of the lesson we have learned the humidity. What is humidity and how to measure the humidity, and we have designed an apparatus to measure the humidity. We call it as hygrometer. We design a simple hygrometer in order to measure the humidity of atmosphere. Thereafter we started with natural disasters, children. What were the natural disasters we discussed here in today's lesson? Yes, children, cyclones, flood, drought as well as landslides. And we said that we can't avoid these natural disasters, but what we can do is to minimize these natural disasters. Let's see that you can remember what you have learned, children. Yes, tell me the answers. What is meant by humidity? Can you remember? Yes, the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere is called as humidity. What is the instrument used to measure the humidity in the atmosphere, children? Yes, we said an instrument called hygrometer is used in order to measure the humidity of the atmosphere. What is the main reason for a cyclone? Yes, how a cyclone would occur, children? We said first of all a pressure depression is created. Creation of a pressure depression. Pressure depression is created and air blow from the surrounding areas. Where does the cyclones affecting Sri Lanka originate? Yes, children, can you remember? We said most of the cyclones affecting Sri Lanka originate in the Bay of Bengal. What is the organization which collect and record data about landslides? Yes, children, landslides are recorded and collected. The data regarding landslides and they are collected by National Building Research Organization, or what you call as NBRO. Tell me whether these statements are true or false, children. Hygrometer is used to measure environmental pressure. Is it true or false? Yes, what do you think? It is false. What is the hygrometer is an instrument used to measure the humidity of the atmosphere. A cyclone occurs when the pressure in an area decreases compared to other areas. Yes, is it true or false, children? It is true. A pressure depression occurs prior to a cyclone. National Building Research Organization warned about cyclone. Is it correct, children? No, we said NBRO predict about landslides. Cyclones are predicted by meteorological department. So, this is a false statement. When the rainfall in an area is less than 50% of expected rainfall at a certain time period, it is called as drought. Is it correct, children? No. When we defined drought, we said the actual rainfall is less than 75% of expected rainfall. So, this statement is a false statement. A continuous rain for 3 days or over 200 millimeter rainfall may cause a landslide. Yes, is this correct, children? Yes, this is a true statement. So, in today's lesson, we have looked at under climatic changes, we have looked at designing simple apparatus in order to measure the factors related to weather, as well as we have discussed about natural disasters. We discussed about 4 natural disasters, children. We said although natural disasters cannot be avoided, we can't avoid natural disasters, but still we can minimize the impact of natural disasters. We can save the properties as well as we can save lives if we become vigilant and we stay alert about natural disasters. Yes children, let's meet in a different lesson again. Goodbye children.